welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 6 February 2025. So let's get started. So before getting started, I want to let you know one thing, guys. So you have to be well versed with your UPSC syllabus, and you have to know each and every keyword that is present in your syllabus, so that whenever you're seeing that keyword, then you can easily identify so and so article which is important from UPSC point of view, so that you will be not wasting much time in reading newspaper. So actually initially students, they will be taking 1.5 hours to even 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours to complete newspaper. But spending 3 hours to 4 hours is not a right. So you can spend at least just 45 minutes to 1.5 hours in your newspaper every day, then that is more than enough. So I let you know like which articles you have to pick up and in how many dimensions you have to think and how you have to analyze an article through these classes. Okay, let us see today's Hindu newspaper articles which are relevant from our examination point of view. Okay, let us see the first article, guys. So if you see the title, it says, SEC to discuss challenges of local body elections at meet. So here, if you see this title, we can understand that there are two important keywords which are there in your syllabus. Okay, so what are those keywords? First one is SEC and second keyword is local body elections. Local body elections. So where you see these two important keywords. So SEC is nothing but your State Election Commission. Okay, so from which subject you can see this? From GS paper 3 and 2 under polity. So paper 2 under polity, you will be studying this. So for polity, we will be suggesting you to read a standard book called as M. Lakshmikant. So in that Lakshmikant, we see about this Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional body. And apart from that, you will be seeing about other topics called as elections, electoral reforms, representative act of Representative of People's Act of 1950 and 1951. So all those are the topics which are related to your elections. So from that point of view, the State Election Commission is also very important. And you will be studying about 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, that 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, it is about your local bodies. So which are those local bodies? We have panchayats and we have municipalities. So what are these panchayats? They are at local level and that too at rural areas. So in rural areas we have panchayats. In the same way in urban areas we have municipalities. Okay, so this is also comes under your GS paper 2 under polity. So here, yes, now we understood that these two keywords are from our syllabus, from your GS paper 2 polity. And now what things that you have to focus? So you have to see about what is the State Election Commission, and you have to see members, and you have to see important constitutional provisions regarding this election commission, and you have to see about what are the functions and what are the roles and responsibilities, and as well as you have to see appointment process of these people and as well as removal process. So if you do all these things, then your work from the State Election Commission is done. And what about this local body elections? You have to see about elections of this both panchayats and as well as municipalities. And in the municipalities, we will be having different levels, okay? So you have to see about different types of municipalities, like we have around 7 types, like notified area committee, and as well as we will be having like municipal corporation, municipality, and cantonment area. So you have to see all those things, and you have to see about elected representatives from this municipalities. And even from panchayats, we have gram sabha, we have like district level and even local level, intermediate level. We have 3 different types, and even we will be having different committees which came up with recommendations regarding this panchayats. So some basic facts that you have to recall. So those all things that are clearly mentioned in your Lakshmikant. But why this State Election Commission local body elections are in news? So recently one meet happened, that is annual conference, that is 31st annual conference of this State Election Commission is done. So in that conference, they said that a State Election Commission is having challenges regarding what? Conducting of elections to local body elections. For example, you can take like Panchayat elections or municipal elections. So it is a responsibility of State Election Commission to conduct elections for these local bodies. For example, if you take president, vice president, Lok Sabha, so those things they will be taken care of Election Commission of India, but only for local bodies. So it is a responsibility of State Election Commission. But here now State Election Commission is saying that we people they are having lot of challenges to conducting elections in these local bodies. Okay, so because of this, what you have to see? You have to see even what are the challenges faced by this State Election Commission. It is not given here, but you have to do some research. Like what are the challenges? Yes, if we have challenges, obviously we need to try to get some solution, right? So we have to think about way forward or what are the reforms we can make so that these challenges can be addressed. Okay, so this is about your topic is everything. So now let us see the context. Yes, context is saying that 31st annual conference of State Election Commissioners is set to take place. That is from March 1st to March 4th, and where? In Madhya Pradesh. So event will see participation from poll officials across approximately 25 states. So poll officials who are main persons in this polling booths, they will be participating, and around 25 states, in 25 states who are the poll officials are there, so they will be coming and they will be joining this meet. And the important focus of this conference, it is to address challenges. So what are the challenges they are facing, that is encountered means they are facing during this local body elections, and they want to come up with the solutions for whatever the problems you are having. So this is very, very important for you guys. And you may get even interview questions regarding this topic, like what are the challenges faced by Election Commission of India or State Election Commission in conducting the elections, like that. So here this article is saying that local elections are very important because even Mahatma Gandhi, who was a great freedom fighter and he is a father of our nation, so he also promoted about grassroots democracy. So for grassroots democracy and for providing citizens a voice in their immediate governance, we have to conduct these elections for sure. So here, whenever we are conducting elections for these local bodies, that will lead to overall democratic engagement. So people at this regional level, they will be participating in this and they will electing their representatives. So in this way, democratic governance can be engaged. And next one here is, we have to identify what are the challenges. So for example, some important challenges are, there is no proper voter turnout. Voter turnout will be around 60 to 70%, not more than that. So why? That means people are not showing interest regarding going to the polling booths and casting their vote. So first one is, we have to see about voter apathy, why they are not interested. And next one is misinformation during this campaigning. Obviously it will be there. And next one is logistic hurdles, like there is no proper transportation facilities in some areas, especially in remote villages, so that they will be having some challenges. So we have to address all these challenges so that we can enhance our electoral process. And next one here is, this article is saying that one solution we can do. So what is that solution? Solution is, we can use some technology. Okay, we can use some technology so that we can address some traditional challenges like long wait times at the polling stations and difficulties in accessing polling locations. So every person who is registered under that polling station should get a message that it is your time, like you can come to this polling booth at this time and you can cast your vote, so that there is no need of standing for the long period of time in the queues. And even regarding address also, so here on the day of polling date, so here every person who had been registered under that polling booth should get this GPS location, so that they can on that and they can directly go to the location, so that there will be no wasting of time of going here and there. So like that we can use some technology to address some of the traditional challenges. Okay, so these are the things which are said in this article. And now let us see some facts regarding this SEC, that is State Election Commissions. So actually State Election Commission is responsible for conducting free and fair impartial elections to local bodies. And the State Election Commissioner will be appointed by governor. It is very important. And here Article 243 of Class 1 talks about this State Election Commission. So especially State Election Commission which is having the power regarding superintendence, direction and control of the preparation of electoral rolls. Regarding panchayats and regarding municipalities we have 243ZA. Okay, and next one is, if you see Article 243 of Class 2, which talks about tenure and as well as appointment of State Election Commissioner. And removal, State Election Commissioner can be removed as a judge of High Court. Okay, on what grounds the judge of High Court is removed? In the same grounds, State Election Commissioner can be removed. So these are some basic facts. And now we have to see about exactly what are the challenges faced by this State Election Commission. So what are the challenges? First one is they don't have proper autonomy. So because of this, always state will be getting interfere in this State Election Commission. Okay, so here because of this, what happened? It is having some battles with the present government. So because of all these things, there will be delaying of elections sometimes and even obstruction of elections. And this one is weakening of State Election Commission's ability to function effectively. And this one is they don't have proper resources. There is lack of funding, lack of staff, lack of technology to conduct elections efficiently. So it creates some legal ambiguities, and even State Election Commission now it is vulnerable for even manipulation by state governments. And even there is inadequate empowerment in this delimitation reservation as well. So here because of lack of clear fixed intervals, so because of this also it is causing a lot of problem in conducting of elections on time for these local bodies. So these are some important challenges. Now it is your turn to think about what reforms can be done. Okay, now let us see one very interesting article that I found. Night school for Calbelia women unlocks new opportunities. So I think you might have heard about this sustainable development goals, right? Okay, so here the keyword here is night school. First keyword is night schools. Second one is you're talking about specifically a community called as Calbelia community. Calbelia, they are tribal people, Calbelia tribe. Okay, so these are the two keywords which are there in our article. So from which subject we can see? So night schools, it is part of your education. Education comes under GS paper 2 under governance. Okay, Calbelia, we're talking about a certain tribe. They are part of our society, right? So from GS paper 2, we'll be studying under this society and social issues. Okay, so now let us see the dimensions. So this article is talking about night school. So how you can use this article? So you may not get directly a question regarding what are these night schools, so how it is leading to the empowerment in women. You can't get this. But you have to try to use this article wherever you are writing about women empowerment or society betterment. If you are writing about society betterment, or if you are writing about women empowerment and increasing of literacy rate and increasing of village economy. Okay, so if you are writing about these areas in your mains, you can use this article, because especially when we are targeting villages, normally in villages we will be having the people who are dependent on agriculture, and even we can see the significant tribal population also on the sites of these villages and even in these hilly regions, etc. So if we want to encourage local economy, and if we want to focus on Atmanirbhar Bharat, vocal for local, so these are all the concepts which are leading towards Viksit Bharat 2047. So if you want to achieve that target, Even our Prime Minister recently gave a statement, I think 15 days to 20 days ago, that we have to focus on villages. So in villages, what are the problems we have? So we have problems like gender inequality. Yes, especially we can see very high patriarchal societies in villages. And next one here is women literacy is very low, and there is lack of women empowerment, and women, they are restricted to do only domestic chores. They will be not participating in economy, and even they don't have proper livelihood. Yes, because of this they will start move to urban areas. That is called as migration pattern which happens. So if you want to address all these problems, we have a weapon, that is increasing of literacy, that is through education. So is that possible to improve education women during daytime? No, obviously no, because they will be doing their domestic chores, and even husbands, they don't allow women to go to schools. So at that time we can use this concept of night schools. Okay, so night schools are very important to address these problems like providing of livelihood, because if they are knowing about at least basic mathematics, basic languages, they can do some works so that they can generate their own livelihoods, and even they can do domestic chores in the daytime and they can go for studying in the night time. And next one is it will leads to women empowerment, women literacy can be increased, and even gender inequality is decreased and women empowerment can be achieved. And even we can increase village economy, we can control migration. So all these problems can be solved through this night schools, which is given as a case study. So actually night school started in this Calbelia tribe, and now women, they understood the basic mathematics and they started their own small startups, okay, like flour mills, etc. So because of this they are generating livelihood and even women empowerment, a decreasing of gender inequality. So this is one case study which shows that through this night schools we can achieve sustainable development goals. So what are the sustainable development goals? Decreasing of poverty, decreasing of hunger, ensuring of livelihood, and even decreasing of gender inequality. So these are the sustainable development goals that we can achieve through this night schools. So in this way we can connect with the different areas in your UPSC syllabus, guys. Okay, now let us see exactly what is this article talking about. So the establishment of a night school, the name of that night school is Samata Night School. Samata Night School in Ajmer district in Rajasthan. So that led to transforming of the life of this Kalbia community, especially this school is focused on particularly women. Okay, now if you see some details, it is saying that because of this Samata Night School, there is impact on literacy rate, improving of literacy rate in women. And now many women, they are able to write and read, so that they are exploring new opportunity, and that led to independence of women in this Calbelia community. And now women, they are not only literate, but they are also gaining some practical skills that promote self-sufficiency, and as well as community engagement. And that is also helpful for breaking of this cycle of poverty, and also overall education landscape of the community is increased. And next one is the success of this night school. It also leads to like Calbelia women, they are now going for community centric approach, and they're also having a sense of ownership now, and they're also encouraging women to advocate both their education, they are also making their children to be educated, so that they are strengthening social fabric of their community. And next one, it is also improving their economic empowerment. So one guy went for sieving business, and one guy went for floor business, like that. So they are economically independent now. So whenever they are doing this kind of startups or small business at the local level, obviously it will be contributing to our local economy as well. So in this way it will be also improving the status of women in the society. And next one is there is also a shift in this gender roles as well. So earlier, women are restricted to only do the domestic duties. Now they are also stepping into the public life. And next one here is there is also significant culture change, and they are also promoting gender equality, and even they are also encouraging broader social acceptance of women rights. Okay, so that will lead to the further growth of that community together. So if you see here Calbelia community, they are very much famous for one dance. So that dance is called as a folk dance, especially it is called as serpent dance or like snake dance. Okay, so they will be wearing this kind of costume whenever they will do this kind of dance, and male they will be using drums and as well as nagaswaram. I think you might be knowing about that nagaswaram. So in many snake related movies of Telugu, they will be showing about the snake dance, especially women. They will be doing this snake dance by keeping their two palms together. That is called as the snake dance, that came up from this community. Okay, this community is called as Calbelia. So if you're talking about this Calbelia community, they are also called as snake charmers, and they are a nomadic tribe. So nomadic means nothing but they'll be moving from one place to another place, and they will be commonly residing in third desert in Rajasthan, and they will perform unique dance form, unique music and tradition. Okay, that dance is called as Calbelia dance. It is called as serpent dance or sapera dance. And women, they will be wearing this black color vibrant traditional attire, and they will be performing this dance, and in this dance they will mimic this snake movements, how the snake will be moving. So like that, in the same way they will be doing this dance. Okay, so that's it. And even this dance had been recognized as UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage in 2010. So it might be your prelims question. Okay, so you have to focus on this dance. And let us see the next article. So title says, strike a infantry vehicle, deal with yours, progresses, javelin to be re-demonstrated. So they are talking about one vehicle. So this is that vehicle. So actually this article is talking about one vehicle that we will be using for our air force, for our army. So army and air force will be using this vehicle for protection of our borders and protection against enemies. So actually, you know that our Prime Minister, he is going to visit US soon. So here already after Trump 2.0 era started, so many Indians, they had been deported into India, and there are many articles regarding this immigration policy of US. And apart from that, Trump also said that India needs to increase its defense deal with US. So here, if you want to maintain the good relations with US, obviously we have to improve these deals with this country like US. So now in this visit, we are going to finalize this striker infantry vehicle with US. Okay, so just see about what is this vehicle and in which areas we will be using, whether it is used by army or air force, and what is the capability of that. So if you see that, that is more than enough, because it is not yet been finalized. So if it is finalized, then only you will be getting questions from your prelims. And even there will be a question like how government of India is trying to modernize our technology. So whenever you are getting that kind of question, you can use this kind of technology that we are getting from France, or that we are getting from Germany, Russia. So like that, what are the different technologies that we are upgrading? So you can make a note of that in that answer. So if you see the context, it is saying that against the backdrop of US President Donald Trump remarks to Prime Minister that India should buy more military equipment. So here Donald Trump said that India should buy more military equipment from US. So in our upcoming visit of Prime Minister to Washington, so we are going to finalize this Striker Infantry Combat Vehicle deal. So what is this? So here it is a vehicle which is having around 8-wheel drive combat armored infantry, and by using this we can carry people, troops, and even we can launch missiles. So in this multi-purpose manner we can use that. And even one more specialty here is, if we are moving this vehicle, if there is sudden IED explosion, so even this is resistant to this IED explosion. That means nothing but explosive devices. So whenever this improvised explosive devices normally used by these Naxals, if they are firing them also, they are resistant, because they are made up of stainless steel and it is a very heavy body. Okay, so actually it is prepared by General Dynamics Land Systems, and as well as general dynamic land divisions of US and as well as Canada. They are together making that. And if you are finalizing this, we are going to get from US. So actually it was first inducted by US Army, and in US Army it was in service from since 1980 onwards, and it is a very successful one, and even lots of advancements they are making for this as well. Okay, so that is the thing. And let us see the next article. House panel seeks ESOPs, that is nothing but standard operating procedure for timely completion of spiritual tourism project. So the key word in this article here is spiritual tourism project. Okay, so you know about this tourism. Tourism is nothing but people from other countries visiting some important sites which are present in India, that is called as tourism. So because of tourism, we can attract travelers. Whenever this other country people are getting into India, they are coming into India, we can increase our forex reserves, and even we can boost our economy, and even we have a department of tourism separately, so that whatever the money we are getting, we will be going for development of further tourist sites. So whenever we are getting further tourist site, we can attract more number of tourists, so that we can generate income, so that will be helpful for economic development. And what is spiritual tourism? So it is nothing but we are attracting people towards some pilgrimage sites. So there are many pilgrimage sites in India. For example, we have Jyotirlingas, like we have Jyotirlingas, we have Vishnu temples, we have sun god temples, and India is very much rich in this temple architecture. So here in if you go to some temples, we can see the different types of architecture, like different types of buildings, different types of carvings, different types of stone they used. And if you see the idols, they are made up of different metals, and there are some specialties for certain kind of temples, like for example, we have some areas where Lakshmi Narasimha Swami's idol is very soft. Even we can pierce our finger into that idol, and like that. And even in some areas there is one Nandi. The size of that Nandi will be increasing. So if you are having this kind of certain specialities, we can attract more number of tourists. Especially spiritual tourism can be increased in India. And regarding this, government is also taking lot of steps, and government came up with a scheme called as PRASAD scheme. PRASAD scheme. And this scheme which is focusing on especially development of spiritual tourist sites. So here in this article they said about this PRASAD scheme. So actually under this PRASAD scheme, so it has to improve infrastructure development, etc. But there are some delays which are seen in this PRASAD scheme. So here you have to see about some basic facts regarding this PRASAD scheme, and what are the components, so what development they will be doing under this scheme, and you have to see about funding of this scheme, and also advantages of this scheme, and what are the challenges of this scheme. So if you see all these things, yes, your work is done. And this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under economy, because tourism will also improve our economy, that will leads to growth and development of a country. And next one here is, it is also important from GS paper 2 under governance, because we are talking about a certain scheme called as PRASAD now. Okay, now let us see this article in detail. So here this article is saying that expressing disappointment over the slow progress of important projects. So there is a very slow progress of some important projects in the spiritual tourism circuits under this PRASAD scheme. So because of this, we have to improve the pace of development under the scheme. That is the thing which mainly said. Okay, so if you see in this image, you can see the people who are carrying irumudi on their head, and they are going to this Sabarimala, that too in a traditional forest path. And they don't have proper infrastructure facilities, proper basic amenities also. So lot of the times here, if there is any landslide in this area, or if there is any flood in that Pamba river, it will be having impact on the people who are going to that. So it is a responsibility of our government to provide some basic amenities and safety and security of the people. So because of this, they came up with this PRASAD scheme, but this is not doing well now. So now let us see some facts here, what this PRASAD is about. PRASAD scheme is nothing but pilgrimage rejuvenation and spirituality augmentation drive. So this scheme had been launched by Ministry of Tourism in year 2014. And what is the important aim? The aim here it is to transform culture preservation and as well as spiritual traveling across some identified pilgrimage destinations. So if you see some details, it says that first of all, let us see what are the objectives. The first one is we have to upgrade and we have to maintain the strength of infrastructure, especially at this pilgrimage sites. For example, we need to provide proper roads, proper water supply, proper sanitation, proper waste management system. So this is the first objective. And this one is we have to improve travel conditions. For example, we need to have proper roadways, railways and airways connection. And this one is we have to go for conservation projects. So if you're not preserving and if you're not conserving, that region will be get into degradation. So it is the responsibility of our government to conserve certain sites. And this one is we have to focus on culture, religious and spiritual significance of pilgrimage sites as well. And we have to create some opportunities for the local communities through skill development, livelihood generation program, so that that will be helpful for pilgrimage tourism as well. And even we have to focus on sustainable development projects. So these are the some important objectives of the scheme. So now let us see the components. So components is very important. First one is they want to focus on infrastructure development. For example, upgradation of roads and water supply, sanitation, solid waste management system. So they want to improve infrastructure. So if there is no proper infrastructure, we can't attract more tourists in this region. And this one is we have to improve connectivity like road, rail and air connectivity, and we have to strengthen even public transport system. If you go there, if you don't have like proper transport system, will you reach the temple? No. Will you offer something in Hindi? No, right? So we need to have proper connectivity. And this one is pilgrimage experience augmentation. That means nothing but we need to enhance tourist friendly accommodations, and that too we need to have like hotels, lodge, etc. And this one is clean and hygiene dining options, and we have to enhance signage and wayfinding systems. Especially we need to have the proper GPS system, and we need to have to provide some excellent tourist guides, etc., so that they will be attracting more tourists from the different countries. And this one is we have to focus on culture heritage preservation. So whatever the rich heritage or rich culture which is present in our India, it is our government of India's responsibility to preserve that culture and as well as heritage. Okay, we have to focus on restoration of sites and as well as conservation initiatives. And this one is spiritual tourism promotion. So actually, if you're developing only inside, so if you're not exposing to the other countries, if you're not making awareness about what are the things that are present in this area, then how the people come to know about these facilities, about this heritage culture? No one knows, right? So we have to focus on event promotion. So we have to promote educating visitors about our culture and religious significance, and we have to launch certain promotional campaigns, and we have to go for pilgrimage packages. Like we have some packages to Manali, packages to Sikkim, packages to Ooty, like that. In the same way, we have to come up with pilgrimage tourism packages also, so that we can attract more number of tourists to that site. And next one is we have to focus on local communities as well, and as well as sustainable development. Like we have to promote only eco-friendly practices, sustainable technologies, so that we can ensure equitable benefits for local populations. So these are the some important components of this scheme. So it is now your work to remember or think about what are the advantages, what are the challenges. Okay. There is one article regarding Rupee slides confounds monetary policy task. So as we all know that there is decreasing of value of rupee against depreciation. So in yesterday's and day before yesterday's class, I discussed about what are the reasons. First one here is because of increasing of tariff on this Chinese, Canada and Mexico. And even they want to focus on protectionist policy. So because of all these things, there is decreasing of value of Indian rupee. So because of this, whenever there is a decreasing of value of rupee, what happens? So our monetary policy, that means nothing but RBI need to take some steps for the stability of money in the market. So this article is talking about monetary policy. Just see about this, what is a monetary policy. The number of times we had discussion in our class. Okay, now let us see the next article. So here there is one article, that is, what is SC directive on sacred groves. So the key word of this article here is sacred groves. So this article is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Okay, so what you have to see, you have to see about what is the sacred grove, first one. And you have to see about in India where we have these sacred groves. And even you have to see about local names of these sacred groves. And you have to see about what are the advantages of these sacred groves. And you have to see what are the challenges. And if possible, you can draw a map of India and you can see the locations of that sacred groves in India. For example, what is the name they call in Uttarakhand? What is the name they call in Karnataka? What is the name they are called in AP, Telangana, like that. And if you have seen this movie Kantara, you will be knowing about some traditional dance which is mainly seen for saving of one sacred grove. Okay, so now let us see this article clearly. So what is the meaning of sacred groves? Sacred groves are nothing but the patches of forest, or it is a patch of natural vegetation, and these areas you are protected by the local communities because of religious or cultural or any spiritual belief, and they are often considered as deities and ancestral spirits or the nature gods. They are found in many parts of the world. Especially in India, we have lots of sacred groves which are protected by local community. So what are the key features? The first one is they will be having some cultural or religious significance. Sacred groves are often dedicated to local deities and local spirits and ancestors. And even there are some taboo is nothing but ban, or they'll be doing some rituals to prevent activities like cutting of a tree, and they'll not going for hunting. For example, in some communities they should not go for hunting of certain animals, okay, and farming in these areas. And these groves have shrines, temples, or some sacred stones within them. So this is the first important feature. And second one is biodiversity hotspot. So these forests, they are serving as refuges for rare and endangered species. So endangered, very, very critically endangered or endangered plants or animals, they are protected in these sacred groves because they often contain some medicinal properties or unique ecosystem or old growth trees. And this one is they're also serving as ecological importance because these sacred groves, if we are not going for cutting of forest, so that it will be helpful for water conservation, soil erosion, and we can maintain local climate balance. And even it will be acting as a carbon sink, and will be absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing fresh oxygen, so that it will be also helpful for saving or supporting of our biodiversity. And next one here is local communities also will be participating in the saving of sacred groves, so that they will be self-regulating. They will be also practicing some strict rules so that they will protecting this for the future. Okay, for example, some groves they are maintained by some priests or elders or village councils. So Kantara movie is about the saving of sacred grove. So if you see the important things which are given in this article, so here now Supreme Court which ordered Rajasthan Forest Department to classify sacred groves as forest and community reserves under Wildlife Protection Act. So actually these sacred groves, they are normally protected by local community, right? So if Supreme Court is ordering Rajasthan Forest Department to declare or to classify these sacred groves as forest and community, then what happens? So there will be the shifting of control. For example, till now these sacred groves are controlled by the local community, but now forest department will be controlling the sacred groves. So because of this, it will be affecting the local people's community life, and as well as their religious belief, their spiritual belief, etc. So that will lead to conflict between this tribal people or like so-called local community and as well as government of India. And it will be also against this Forest Rights Act. So Forest Rights Act said that it is it is under this community and community will be having control. But if this kind of classification happens means it will be affecting the people, especially the local people who are having their religious belief regarding the saving of sacred groves. So because of this, we have to rethink about classification of the sacred groves as forest or not. Okay, so this is about this topic. So by this I'm concluding, guys. Thank you so much. And one more thing here is we are going to start new batch of GS foundation course from March first week onwards. So if you're interested, so you can join this course, and we are providing both on online and as well as offline. Thank you so much, guys, and please do subscribe to Rathods Science Academy, and don't forget to like and share this class.